we're finally halfway through the season. This insanity. So, well, we're about to embark on that. So we're not officially, like, over that. But after this race, we'll officially be more than halfway through. And that's very satisfying because this has been probably one of my worst Let's Plays I think I've ever had to do. But I want to finish it. I just want to finish it. So there's nothing else really new to show in the points. Everything else has been interesting except for me. I've just ruined this timeline. In this universe, there is probably a reason why we have the chase and stuff. It's all because of my driver being too OP. But that's our paint scheme. Let's just get into it. Thank you, my Tier 2 Patreon people, as well as my YouTube members support channel person to get early access videos, as well as channel emails when I stream. Thank you for what you guys do. I appreciate it. Let's get this appreciation tour of, I guess, the most ultimate simp mode season of myself. Also want to preference again, it's on the hardest difficulty possible. I can't change it. I'm sorry that I'm too good and the game too easy, or vice versa, whatever. Let's get into it. Dale Jarrett, Jimmy Johnson in the front row. Obviously in this timeline, Jim John has yet to get a win, so that's also kind of funny. But obviously default setup. Actually, let me change the transmission there. And that's it. Let's get into it.
The NASCAR Winston Cup Series comes to Illinois this week for today's race, the Tropicana 400 at the Chicagoland Speedway. This is still a new track for these teams. Tell us about it, Barney.
This speedway is a 1.5-mile trioval with a wide racing surface and decent banking that will keep the speeds up and the action very exciting.
Something a little out of the ordinary in this one for Jeff Burton.
Yeah, he's definitely not used to having to pick through traffic so early in a race. This could make it an exciting race for him, or it could be disastrous. You just never know when you start in the back.
Mike Skinner is towards the bottom of the points list this season.
And of course, nobody wants to be on the bottom of that points list. He'll have to work extra hard to pick up spots. Not an easy task to dig yourself out of a hole in this series.
Kurt Busch is currently at the top of the points list.
You know, I'll tell you, consistency is the key to the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. If he can remain focused on that, he has a good shot at winning.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Good introduction. I would like to bring up the face cam or the controller input thing, but every time I put it into OBS, it just breaks and doesn't want to work. So for people that may not have liked it at Sonoma, good news, you're probably never going to see it again. So that's just one last interesting thing to look at visually on screen. So, you know, like as if this series needs to be more just grueling and miserable. I can't do anything fun like input buttons for people at home to see what my fingers do. I don't know. I thought it was a neat thing to have, but, you know, apparently this won't do it. And I can't do it on Streamlabs because apparently that just, this with the game emulator plus OBS just, or Streamlabs OBS just breaks everything. So, yeah, I'm perpetually screwed unless someone wants to give me like $2,000 to get a new PC, then maybe then I can do it. But no, I think that would probably be a better investment to not do that for any insane one out there. Sparks. There was Sparks. We're gaining spots as usual. I mean, the other thing it's just interesting too with this game compared to 03 is that my pit crew rarely make mistakes. I mean, the frequency rate is a lot lower. I'm sure some insano is going to want to keep track of that. That's some freaking contact right in front of me. That was scary. But I'm sure if someone wants to go through like all of my season mode last year in Thunder 03 and compare it to this one, I feel like in Thunder 03 we've had a lot more pit crew mishaps versus this game. I don't know if anything changed or they just thought, you know, oh, this is too extreme. They gotta, you know, nerf it just like they nerf everything in this game. This game is like Overwatch 2 where they nerf like all the female characters. Now they have like no ass. Because apparently that was just too offensive. That's this game. It's a weird analogy because I think Overwatch 2 is universally hated. This game is not, but in terms of nerfing and in season mode, yes, that is very true. So yeah, you know, I memed about doing a NASCAR Ignition career mode again. Honestly, that would probably almost be more interesting than that because I can at least guarantee every race I'm not going to win. So, like, in the interesting aspect, it's got that going for it. So, we're up to 25th. I mean, it's just kind of a standard race. We're just moving up to the field. And my practice runs, which I only do one. God forbid if I do too many, it's going to get too easy for me, so I only do one. But it was moderately difficult. I mean, if I had to do a tier list on it, it would probably be somewhere kind of in the middle of the difficulty stuff. The only thing that's been kind of biting me is in 3 and 4. The car gets really tight there. Maybe it's just me driving it wrong, but turns 3 and 4 is deceptively tighter than 1 and 2, which I believe is accurate to real life. So the game recreated that, which is very much appreciated. I believe I'm pretty sure that is the case. I remember when I was in iRacing, I remember I was watching like tutorial videos on how to drive the track, which at one point I had to pay a freaking membership fee to watch tutorial videos on how to drive the track because I couldn't figure it out. And I remember watching them and they were mentioning that, so I'm assuming that's correct. But yeah, I went so deep into the iRacing rabbit hole. I was almost gonna buy setups because apparently you can do that. I did it once. I actually did win a modified race because I purchased a setup, but it didn't really make me feel good. It just kind of felt like I cheated, and it just doesn't feel good. So, yeah, I guess I could have kept going with it and just kept buying setups, but that's not fun. I shouldn't be, like, buying setups, and I'm sorry I'm not like a mechanic game wizard that just understands the intricacies of the... I can't even say the word. That's how bad it is, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just rambling on a bunch of stories because this game is providing me really no substantive challenge. But hey, Matt Kent's alternate scheme, that's hot, you know, put that on my tier list later in my imagination. But there's just nothing of note to even talk about in these races anymore. Dover was like truly the only one that gave me any bit of challenge. And I still think that's going to probably be the race that's going to thwart us, you know, our winning streak. Because it took so much to lose in the spring. So, I don't know. This series is going to be a true testament of what are my subscribers willing to watch out of me. I knew it was going to be a little bit easier than Thunder 03. I wasn't expecting winning 17 races in a row easy. So, kind of beyond baffled by that. We're up to 6th. We'll be pitting on lap 13. Just seems like everything's nerfed. I don't know. It's kind of amazing. I don't really know. I wish I was old enough. I wish I was in my 20s when this game came out. So maybe I could have been more socially cognitive aware of what the forums were saying. Were the forums complaining that Thunder 03 was too hard and they're like, alright, we're gonna make it a little bit easier? Like, it sure feels like that sometimes. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But what I do know is we're very fast. And we're in the top 5, so that's also nice. Have I made contact with any AI car? I don't really know. Oh boy, a little weird, a little wiggly in that corner. But yeah, we'll just pit next time by and I don't know, go from there. I mean, we're about to get 3rd. We're right there in Junior's sights, so it depends on how soon he pits or how later he pits, because if he undercuts us, then he might gain a little bit of time, but he doesn't pit, so either he's going to pit with us or not, I don't know, but that's P2. It's nice to ramble on. I mean, I guess the race has been moderately interesting, because I've been talking like the entirety of this fuel run. This is like, it feels like an old school What If video, where going back to like 2015, where I just talked the whole time. Don't worry, there'll be some editing at some point when I go down pit road, for example. Like what I'm about to do right now, because it's pit stop time. And Dale Jr. is not pitting, so we're kind of undercutting him, and I think because of that, as long as the pit crew just do alright, it might be a race-winning move. But then again, Thunder 03, well, this track, pit road's a little bit wider, so I don't think we're going to have a Kansas situation occur, but we're fine. That's a good pit stop, 15.8. I like how the 43 car runs over my pit official, which is pretty realistic, because that car hit someone on Piro at Talladega in 2003 with the Yu-Gi-Oh car. So, pretty realistic, dare I say. Yeah, out and away. Wait for this to cycle through. We might be in the lead, may not be, but either way, we're going to be in the top 5. Maybe we'll cycle out ahead of Junior. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And now that everything's fully cycled through, we're going to be in the lead, and that's going to be another dub in the books. 18 straight wins, technically 19 if you count the All-Star race, so, yeah, the insanity continues. My flag's out. Jimmy John's second, so once again, I am denying him of any wins in this timeline, which is really funny. The gap is, I might have gained a second since I've been leading, so I think it probably helps too that they have a little bit fresher tires than me by at least 2 or 3 laps, which with these shorter races, that definitely makes a big difference. So couldn't really pull away to a drastic margin. I'm just curious to see how insane this season goes with winning. So as much as frustrating as it gets, I'm just kind of curious to see how much dumber this can be. I don't know anymore. We'll do our little spinny doos, burnouts, pour one out for Chicagoland, a track that died way too soon, didn't deserve it. And I think it was just starting to hit its prime, and then it got murdered. So thank you, Rona, for ruining that. And now it's just sitting there, and it really sucks. So this one's for you, Chicagoland. I miss you. It's a nice trophy. Unfortunately, I don't really like Tropicanas or orange juice. It just doesn't taste good. It just doesn't taste very fun to drink. So that's my food take of the day, where I'm sure no one's gonna agree with. Marlin, good finish. Mark Martin with a good finish. Junior and Johnson second and third. We lead 10 laps, so we exactly lead 200 laps halfway in the season. So that is adorable with that estimation. Obviously, Junior led the most laps. The other 2 laps led were from Dale Jarrett, who started first. Tony Stewart got 10th, who was in the top 5. So I don't know what happened to him. Did he pit late and just bone his race with that pit strategy? I don't know, but weird to see him back there. Jeff Gordon continues to just defecate all over himself with this season. Ricky Craven with a respectable run. And the only one that DNF'd was Stan Barrett. So, there's that. Alright, we'll just throw in our margin of victory into Google Sheets and see where that puts us. So, 56.29, that currently puts it 20th. So, yeah, we're a little bit away from it being inside top 10. 8.8 seconds is top 10. So, yeah, we weren't quite there. So 20th out of 63. So, it's something. It's something. Let's get on out of here. Next up is New Hampshire. I don't know, again, what that's going to be like. Presumably easy, like usual. I guess we'll see how that goes. But, point situation. Well, Newman's kind of closing in on Stewart. Ricky Rudd 4th. Good for him. I'm happy. Bobby Labonte 5th. Johnson 6th. Marlin 7th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jeff Gordon finally cracks the top 10, which feels like the first time this season, but he's just had a nasty year. Same with Mark Martin, Dale Jarrett. Some of these people usually kind of run up the front, so I guess that's why it's sort of surprising to see him outside the top 10. I don't know. I guess it's just interesting. So laps led, fittingly, we got exactly 200. And Newman's still second. Jeff Gordon, Ricky Craven still tied. That's funny. I like that. But now it's at this point where when Jeff Gordon finally does get by Ricky Craven in laps led, I could just laugh and be like, it took Jeff Gordon half the season to accomplish that. So either way, Jeff Gordon's lost. I'm going to make fun of him regardless. Anyways, I'm done. That madness is over. Paint scheme change. Little Tykes. Sure, we'll go with that. Big shout out to my tier 3 Patreon supporters: David R. Champ 15, Kamikazegames, Bailey Carer, Max Link 1986, Jason Hellman, and my name is John for support. Again, I appreciate what you guys do for my channel every single month. It always goes a long ways. Always means a lot. So thank you, as always, for the continued support. See you all next episode for whatever happens. In Thunder 02, our top 10 streak got snapped because of New Hampshire. Can that same type of luck happen in this game? With a long-running streak just getting snapped? I mean, It's possible, but I don't know. We will have to wait and see. So, yeah. See you all next episode. See you all later. And as always, have a good day, everyone.